welcome to this week's edition of the Side Splitters. My name is Lyle.
And my name is Finn.
All right, and our goal tonight is to leave you in stitches. I really don't know where to... Okay. What else do you say to that, right? What's going on there, Sven?
Oh, nothing much. Just sitting here playing with my balls.
Right. I've been doing something interesting lately.
Oh, really?
I've actually taken the time to do something that you or any listener of this podcast hasn't done.
Play with my balls?
No, I listened to Countdown to Geektown.
Oh! Oh, right, they're a thing.
I kind of lagged behind a little bit because the app that I used to listen to them, Stitcher, was not getting their newer episodes. So I thought for the longest time, well, admittedly, I kind of just straight up forgot about them because I was on the Spider-Man Homecoming episode, and I didn't want to listen to that until I have seen the movie, and it took me a little longer than I wanted to see the movie. So I was just like, all right, I want it to be spoiler-free, so I'm not going to listen. And once I seen the movie, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go listen to the podcast now. But what if they don't like it? Oh. So I was real hesitant to listen to him. Then I was talking to Eric, and he's like, we're on like episode 70 something now, right? I'm like, no. Stitcher's never updated. It still says you're on episode 68 or 69, whatever it was. Well, apparently they had changed hands. They went to a different website, and it never got updated to Stitcher. It's all fixed now, though, and it's all good.
Yeah, we don't know anything about changing websites.
Yeah, exactly. Funny enough, they went to Podbean.
Oh, they're going to have some fun with that.
Yeah. Anyway, the reason I bring this up, though, is because in the latest episode I was listening to, which is not the latest episode, I'm not caught up. I think it was like 72, 71, I don't know. They were starting to talk about the trailer for Ready Player One, this movie coming out. And they were talking about how great the book was. And I heard them talk about this a lot of times already. And that's fine. But it started getting to the point where it's just like, why did they have such a hard on for this book? And then eventually Jesse was like, listen, if you don't... Well, hold on. Jesse was like, now listen here, folks. If you don't have anything else to listen to from us, just take this one piece of advice. He said,
that's pretty accurate. Spot on, in fact.
He said, if nothing else, if you listen to nothing else Eric tells you, go read this book. And you don't have to hear a single thing he says for the rest of existence. So I was like, I'll take that bet.
Well, that is a man I never want to listen to again, so let's read this book.
So, I gotta tell you, I got the audiobook, and I have been
lazy.
You know what? It's not lazy. It's multitasking.
Is it voiced by Gilbert Gottfried?
It's voiced by Will Wheaton.
Yeah, all right.
He does a phenomenal job. Like, I was at first kind of like, at least it's a familiar voice. But I am blown away. He's doing a really good job. Now, I'm only like 13 chapters in of 40 or something like that. But, yeah, it is really good so far. I'm enjoying the heck out of this, and I cannot wait to finish it so I can be like, oh my god, guys, this book is great.
And then you're going to wonder where Will Wheaton is in the movie, and you're going to be like, oh.
Yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to kind of mention that because it's a really good book so far, and I'm having a blast with it. More importantly, I never have to listen to anything Eric tells me again.
And that's coming straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, in this case, the horse is Jesse. But in other cases, I also wanted to mention, speaking of those guys, we are in a fantasy league this year, NFL Fantasy League, with Eric and Jesse, and several other guys from the South and all that stuff.
Yeah, somebody forced me.
Andy was quote-unquote forced. He agreed to it. Don't let him lie to you. But he drafted players based on their names, kind of like what he does with the football picks.
Oh, yeah.
One of the players he had to have was someone by the name of K. Hunt. Now, I have never heard of K. Hunt. But after looking at it, it was a running back from the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I knew they were getting a new running back. I didn't know who it was. Well, apparently it's K. Hunt. Now, K. Hunt didn't even have a picture in the fantasy app. So I'm like, don't get this guy in the first round, Andy. Get him in the second round. You see this other guy you want, this D Breeze? Get him in the first round. Get him in the first round. He's going to be a much better pick. So he follows my advice. He picks up D Breeze in the first round. Sure enough, just like I said, K Hunt was still there in the second round, so he grabs him then. And then he goes on picking a slew of other players like
Crabtree, Woodhead. I was told that I couldn't pick up Spider-Man, but I did find somebody with the last name Parker, so that was good enough for me.
There you go. And I'm just like kind of giggling to myself every time I see a player he picks up. And surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. Yahoo didn't agree. Yahoo thought it was terrible. They gave him, what, a D-?
Yeah, I was the only one that got a D out of everybody in the league.
But, you know, I was like, yeah, that can work. I mean, that's not bad for someone that has no idea what he's doing. Well, here's what Yahoo didn't know, and neither did I. The first game was Thursday night, and it was the Chiefs and the Patriots, and I'm not going to get into wins and loses. That's later. Everything's plural. But K Hunt plays for the Chiefs, like I said. So 246 yards and 3 touchdowns later, K Hunt became one of the top scorers in Fantasy League of the week. Like, not just in our league, in all leagues. Somehow, his magical powers go to fantasy leagues as well. And he ended up winning his fantasy matchup, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, not only did he win, but he won by the largest margin in the entire league of us. So there's 10 teams, which means out of the 5 games that got played, his victory margin was the largest.
All thanks to my boy K Hunt.
And he did this without a defense because he picked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. I'm assuming because Tampa Bay, led him to victory every week last year. So
yeah, Buccaneers ran into some scorpions and got rocked by a hurricane. So
yeah, the Buccaneers and Dolphins game was canceled last week, so he didn't have a defense. So without a defense, he still had the largest margin. With a defense, I'm sure he would have probably had the highest score. But anyway, so that's that. I just wanted to touch on that real quick. But let's get started here. Let's get right into the favorite segment of the week, Clickbait News.
Yay!
So this week I have 3 stories, only one of them from Florida, and I have a 4th.
Well, yeah, because everybody already knows what's going on in Florida.
I have a 4th bonus story, which is also from Florida, kind of. All right, I guess it's technically Atlanta, but close enough. Anyway.
Atlantis, more like it.
So we'll start right there. We'll start in Florida with the first story. Can you tell me...
you know what's coming.
Can you tell me what the Florida sheriff warned people not to do?
Man, so many choices. Alright, so it's gotta be something involving the storm, and it's gotta be something involved with people being idiots.
What makes you say that?
Well, because, unless you've been under a rock and the wind hasn't blown it over your head yet, there's a hurricane scare going on in Florida. Scare. Disaster, I don't even know.
TikTok, Andy. TikTok.
Sorry. I don't know. Freaking don't shoot the hurricane.
The Florida sheriff urges people not to shoot at hurricane.
No!
Saying you won't turn it around.
No! No. That is not a thing. Oh my fucking god, people are so stupid.
A Florida sheriff has pleaded with citizens not to shoot at Hurricane Irma, saying they won't turn it around. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office warned that shooting weapons at the most dangerous Atlantic hurricane to hit the U.S. since records began will have very dangerous side effects. As many as 53,000 people said they were interested in a Facebook event called Shoot at Hurricane Irma, and 25,000 people said they would participate on Saturday evening. Now, I right into the story a little bit, and I read that this was a complete joke group, and it was like, whatever, you know. But the sheriffs, thought, joke or not, we know our town, and we have to, actually say this just in case.
Wow.
So it says it was set up by 22-year-old Ryan Edwards. Now I want to point out Ryan here is spelled Ryon. That's just weird.
Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird.
A description of the event read, "Yo, so this goofy-looking windy head-ass named Irma said they pulling up on us. Let's show Irma that we shoot first." The sheriff's office tweeted on Saturday evening, "To clarify, do not shoot weapons at Irma. You won't make it turn around, and it will have very dangerous side effects." Mr. Edwards told the BBC he created the event out of boredom and stress and was surprised by the reaction.
That is insane. That is absolutely insane. First of all, they can't prove that firing bullets at a storm doesn't turn it around. Second of all, because nobody's ever tried it before, and it's just, I thought that's how Southern states solve all their problems, is by shooting them.
So you would think. Let's move on.
And shooting and looting.
Yeah.
My two favorite things to do.
Right. How's Destiny treating you? Too
I'm
bad
already
we can't
grinding.
talk about video games. On to the next story.
Damn it!
So this one's in Ohio. Can you tell me what the thief stole in Cleveland, Ohio?
Ooh, the passionate love blossom of a young lady.
No.
No.
Thief stole 15-pound pet mini pig named Spam.
Okay.
Cleveland police are investigating a reported break-in after a couple said someone entered their home and stole their 15-pound pet pig named Spam, jewelry, TVs, and a camera. The owner said they suspect the thief is planning to sell the miniature pig, which they said could be valued at as much as $1,000. Valerie Couch posted about the missing pig on Facebook and says she hopes her public plea will lead the thief to return Spam. Cleveland police say a detective will be assigned to the case. That's all I have. Thought it was a funny thing. There wasn't really a lot of news. You see, this is what happens when you evacuate Florida. We get no fun news.
I mean, there had to have been, like, statistically speaking, there should have been a guy with no shirt wearing a horse mask in the middle of Irma. Like,
oh, I didn't say that didn't happen. I just, I didn't figure that was something that we needed to report on.
no. Well, I'm here today to tell you that there was a shirtless man in a horse mask in the middle of Irma.
Of course there was, in Florida.
Because there wouldn't be. Second of all, okay, so I don't know if anything on your rep sheet involved breaking and entering or robbing somebody. But I'd imagine that in the middle of doing so, you wouldn't notice, like, a pig. Like, it wouldn't be a guard pig. I don't think so, anyway. Signs labeling "beware of pig" are kind of hard to come by. But you're thinking to yourself, like, all right, I got the essentials. I got the jewelry. I got, valuables, electronics. Yes, good. Ooh, a pig. Ooh, I'll take that.
Maybe they're leaving out an important detail here. Maybe the pig was wearing some of the jewelry, and they just kind of figured, I'll take both.
Jewelry on a pig. I mean, I guess it works for, like, some of the ugliest members of the family, but I don't think I wouldn't put it on a pet.
Wonderful. So on to Arkansas. And I figured, I seen this story and I was like, I feel like we never had stories from Arkansas.
I don't recall any.
Yeah. So this was fun. Can you tell me what the Arkansas woman admitted to using her county cash for?
County cash?
Yeah, she was a former administrative assistant to an Arkansas county official, and she was using the fraudulent use of a credit card. What was she buying with it?
Oh, what was she buying with it? She was buying what any woman would buy if they had an unlimited credit card with other people's money. She spent taxpayer money on tig old biddies.
No.
Oh,
I
damn.
was really looking forward to seeing where you were going with that. You disappointed me. Arkansas
Oh,
woman.
you would if you could.
Arkansas woman admits using county cash to buy dog tuxedo.
Hold on. Which one of that is the adjective? Was it a dog-themed tuxedo for her? Was it a tuxedo the size and shape of a dog? Was it a tuxedo for a dog?
Let me just read the story here, Andy.
All right. I have questions.
A former administrative assistant to an Arkansas county official has pleaded guilty to fraudulent use of a credit card after prosecutors accused her of using public money to buy personal items, including a tuxedo for her pet pug.
Oh.
Christy Goss.
For a pug? Classy as shit.
Christy Goss was set for trial this week, but pleaded guilty Monday. Authorities accused Goss of fraudulently charging $200,000 to a Garland County credit card on purchases including the dog tuxedo, a diamond bracelet, tickets to Arkansas Razorbacks sporting events, sequined throw pillows, and pet insurance.
Sequined.
Same thing. Goss had worked as an administrative assistant for the Garland County judge in Hot Springs, about 45 minutes southwest of Little Rock. Goss will be sentenced November 22nd. A gag order prevents attorneys from speaking publicly about the case.
Huh. So, yeah, I'm disappointed in her that breast implants were not a part of it. And at the same token, you've had pets before, I assume.
Yeah. I mean, I've had. Yeah.
All right. So I don't think that you've ever loved a pet enough to buy it a full tuxedo.
Well, that all depends on what you mean by that.
I mean exactly what the words mean in English, I assume.
Yeah, see, that's all good and fine, but in my opinion, one does not love a pet enough to buy it a tuxedo. One wants to embarrass a pet enough to buy a full tuxedo.
You can't embarrass something that eats its own shit.
Oh, can't you, though?
You cannot. Like, I probably would make that very clear the next social event that I become a part of. I'll just take a fucking bite out of a turd and be like, all right, anybody bring it on. It's April 1st. What do you got?
I mean, to me, it's yeah, I don't know. I was always one to say, animals wearing clothing is kind of ridiculous. First of all, most of the time they hate it. In the event they don't hate it, we don't know that they don't hate it. We just, they might be too lazy or think that this is what they're supposed to do, even though they hate it. I don't know. It's not natural. Therefore, I'm against it. But that being said, hold on, because sometimes you can put clothing on certain animals. Pugs, I'm sure would be one of them, and it can look outright hysterical. Like, have you ever seen a Dachshund wearing a giraffe costume? It's the best.
I always see them wearing like actual hot dog costumes, and
yeah, that's boring to me. It's been so overdone. I don't know. The giraffe one wins my heart.
I honestly, if I had a Dachshund, I would dress it up as a submarine.
Oh, if I had a Dachshund, I would kick it every morning because I can't stand the little things. But I'm just saying, it's funny to watch them get dressed up sometimes. That's about it.
Tuxedo.
And if I owned, I don't know, a Chihuahua or something, I would probably have to put it in a sombrero. I know that sounds really racist, but you could blame Taco Bell for it.
There is a literal town in Mexico called Chihuahua, Mexico.
Yeah, I'm aware. Anyway, on to the bonus story. Funny enough, with the comment you made earlier, I don't know if you know about this or not, maybe you do. I said we're going to Atlanta because the Atlanta Braves baseball team, apologized publicly for playing rock you like a hurricane during the Miami Marlins game.
I did not know that, actually.
They straight up played that when the team took the field. It's the Miami Marlins, and it was in Atlanta, so they take the field and are like, rock you like a hurricane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I
wonder how many uncomfortable people there were in the stands going, too far.
Well, there was certainly enough of them on Twitter.
Oh, there always are.
Yeah. I can give you some examples here. Let's see. Blotto von Drinkmore says, Poor Taste Award tonight goes to the Braves at the game against Miami, and they're playing Rock You Like a Hurricane between innings. Oh, so that's even better.
Wow. I mean,
between the innings.
That's even worse.
Let's see. Let's read more. King Cheesy 24 says, "Screw the freaking Atlanta Braves for playing Rock You Like a Hurricane against the Marlins. So unclassy, no respect."
I mean, I actually thought it'd take a lot of courage, but
there was apparently an apology, like I said, and they apparently did a good turn by offering those fleeing from Hurricane Irma for free tickets to the game. And they have the 4 games they'll play against the Marlins from Thursday to Sunday. Yeah, so that's great. Hey, we know you can barely, stand to live right now, and you're probably struggling on finding shelter and things of that nature. But you want to come to a baseball game?
Yeah, where you can't afford anything else while you're here,
yeah.
because you're rained out of your home.
Yeah, exactly. On us.
Yeah, on us, by the way. And have fun, watching people on your left and right sides eating $10 hot dogs.
Let's get into football talk here.
May or may not have been Dodson's.
I know, we're not quite ready for football talk yet. There was something I wanted to go over with Andy first. That's the end of clickbait news, by the way.
Okay.
So I asked Andy earlier in the week if he can prepare himself on a subject. I don't know if I want to make this a regular segment or not. I kind of do because I feel like I can have a lot of fun with it. But I was thinking about what if I propose a question that Andy just kind of has a musing about or a rant about or something like that. Andy being you, of course. What do you feel about it?
I don't know if it's like a regular thing. I would see if you could have other inspirations for questions. And I don't know if it's something we could probably go back and forth on this. It doesn't always have to be me. Okay, fair. Good argument.
Well, it's
clearly you're the king of the debate team.
I'd say we let the listeners decide. Let's see what they think about this. If you like it, let us know. And if you don't like it, then let us know that neither. Whatever you do, don't not say anything, because when you don't say anything, we don't know if you like it or not. So, yeah. It could come back if you don't like it. It could stay away if you do like it. You don't want that to happen, so make your voice heard. Anyway, Andy, the question I have for you. Scientifically, why is it that white girls are so attracted to pumpkin spice?
Okay, so here's a story about white girls and pumpkin spice. White girls, as you know, have ovaries. Okay, no, don't get ahead of me now. So it is no strange secret that women come in all shapes and sizes. I mean, from the tall to the small to the wide to the thin. And equally as unique as the size and shape of the woman is the size and shape of the eggs in her ovaries. They may not always be egg-shaped or perfectly round. Some could be caltrop-like, stuck in the ovaries as which to cause barrenness, which probably is for the best because she doesn't want children with caltrop ovaries either. But, eventually it lines up to the point where their body embraces these unique shapes, and then it kind of has an attunement towards similar shaped things, bringing in the pumpkin. Now, the pumpkin also varies in size and shapes, but the pumpkin seed itself is a nice white ovular shape, color, texture, however you want to put it. And I think that since the majority of eggs within an ovary are within that size and shape spectrum, they kind of tune in to no matter what shape, size, form the pumpkin takes, the seed is concurrently the same density, consistency, what have you. So between the eggs in the woman's ovaries and the pumpkin seeds within the pumpkin, they kind of have a drawn to each other kind of symbiotic relationship. And I think that is why white women can actually get over pumpkin spice, because it kind of reminds them of that deep primordial connection that women have had with pumpkins since Eve first grew from Adam's rib and wanted a pumpkin from the forbidden tree.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fascinating. I'm sure I speak for all of us when I say, it's a good thing the hurricane didn't take you.
Thanks.
No,
I wasn't vacationing in Florida.
Thank you, Andy.
I hope that was as scientific as you requested.
I don't think you can get more scientific than that.
Okay.
Let's go on to football now.
Out of curiosity, does your wife like pumpkin spice?
No.
Oh.
I don't know. I can't keep up with these things.
Huh. I was going to say, because if she did, I know what shape her eggs are.
Right. Anyway. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's go on to You're a weird guy, Andy.
Thanks.
So we have the picks from last week here. This is between me, you, and of course Fresco. I will do it in the order of me, Fresco, you. I'll just. If it's all the same to you, I'm just going to skip through all of this and saying who won and who lost, and I'm just going to give you the final scores of each of us. Is that cool with you?
Sure.
Or do you need to know each individual team?
I mean, the teams help, but for the sake of time, I can just get the gist of it.
Okay, cool. For the sake of time, read the teams on your own. You're in fantasy now. You're supposed to pay attention to who's winning and losing.
Prove you wrong.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, obviously you know the Chiefs won.
Yep.
Okay, how about this? Chiefs beat the Patriots. Bills beat the Jets. The Eagles beat the Redskins. Titans beat the Raiders. Mother Nature beat both of the Florida teams. Jaguars beat the Texans. Lions beat the Cardinals. Falcons beat the Bears. Ravens beat the Bengals. Steelers beat the Browns. Rams beat the Colts. Excuse me. The Rams embarrassed the Colts. The Packers beat the Seahawks. Panthers beat the 49ers. Cowboys beat the Giants. The Vikings beat the Saints. And the Broncos beat... Oh, this is important actually. I'm glad I stopped and thought about this. There was a little bit of a faux pas last week's episode. I said the San Diego Chargers were the team that were playing against the Broncos. That is not the case. They are not the San Diego Chargers anymore, and I completely forgot about this. They are now the Los Angeles Chargers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know why, but football's been changing a lot of cities around, like, in the past 2 years, and I think next year the Raiders are going to Las Vegas, so...
That's really weird.
Yeah, right? It's just all kind of weirdness, but... Vegas is getting a hockey team, too.
No.
Yeah,
like a new team or an existing team?
No, a completely new team. It's an expansion team. It's called the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird, but I welcome it. I like new stuff in hockey. Anyway, so total scores of last week, Andy and Fresco actually tied, going 8 for 7, 8 wins, 7 losses. And both of them beat me, going 7 wins, 8 losses. Big surprise. So, week 1 out of the way, let's move on to week 2. So, of course, we will start with the Thursday night game, which is between the Houston Texans at the Cincinnati Bengals. I will... God, I don't even know. I'm going to take the Bengals on this one. They were garbage last week, but I'm going to take the Bengals on this one because I feel like they need to redeem themselves. Who you got, Andy? Texans and Bengals.
Well, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Texans went against the Jaguars last time, and I think they got spanked by the Jaguars. So
Yeah.
I think that from a gameplay perspective, they would have learned their lesson from fighting one big cat and use it to fight another big cat. So I think the Texans are going to turn that around and actually win against the Bengals.
Fair. Next up, we have the Buffalo Bills at the Carolina Panthers. I will be taking the Bills because I always will go against the Panthers. So, who do you got?
Where are the Panthers from?
Carolina.
Carolina. Ooh, man, that's another storm brewing around that area, too. And the Buffalo Bills are coming in there. No, I think because of their storm prowess and, real life events kind of being as what they are, I think Bill's going to take a piggyback off of Irma and sweep up some cats into the water. So I'm going to say Bills.
All right. You love playing that riding hurricane thing or riding tornado thing, don't
That's
you?
what Buffalo Bill did.
Just love it. Next up, we have the Chicago Bears at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh, God, this is tough. So I didn't get to see what the Buccaneers did last week because they didn't play last week. Being that it's at Tampa Bay, I'm going to go ahead and say the Buccaneers on this one. What do you got?
Bears against Buccaneers. Huh.
Right?
It's a weird matchup for me. Well, I don't. Okay, so I don't think. See, the Bears' primary source of food for most bears is the common picnic basket. Of which case, I don't think there's a picnic area left in Tampa Bay for them to be able to forage off of. And even if there were, the Pirates would have absconded, scallywagged, swashbuckled it away. And the Bears will get no respite in Pirate Cove. So I think it's going to be the Buccaneers on that game.
Buccaneers. Oh, God. Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whew, I will be taking this. Good Lord. Everything's backwards. I don't understand anything. I'm going to take the Steelers. Who do you got?
I don't know. Vikings are best when they're on the offensive. Even though the Steelers are pretty good at making, I guess, sturdy metal frames, if you were to believe them. But, Vikings have been able to sack, mid-European areas, too. And those guys are made of metal, all the time. So, I don't really think it's going to be much of a problem with them. I'm going to say the Vikings.
Vikings. Okay. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the Indianapolis Colts. I am taking the Cardinals. What do you got?
If these were the Broncos, it would be a whole nother story. Well, it's September.
Yes, Andy, it's September. Now, could you please tell me what football team you want to win?
Yeah, so it's September, so Cardinals should actually be heading south for the winter.
Of course.
So, I mean, they're probably not going to be too interested in dealing with what the hell the Colts are up to. So I'm actually going to say the Colts on this one because their mind will actually be on the game.
It's just reminiscence of what Fresco said last week as you were explaining one. These are people, right? Next up, we have the New England Patriots at the Saints. I am going to take the Patriots. Who do you have?
Patriots at the Saints. Aren't they the same thing? Well, I mean, okay, so in a question of nationalistic pride or unerring faith, nationalistic pride always wins out in this country. So I'm going to say that the Patriots are going to win over the Saints.
Okay. Next up, we have the Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I can make the joke. Haha, aren't they the same thing? That's a football joke. I'm going to take the Ravens.
Wow.
You see, the Ravens became a team in the 90s, I think. I think the late 90s. I couldn't tell you exactly what year. And basically what happened is they bought the Cleveland Browns and just kind of
Oh.
became the Ravens. And then the Cleveland Browns were like, we're going to make a team again. And became, well, I don't think they really bought, I don't remember how it worked. I don't know if it was they bought the Cleveland Browns or the Cleveland Browns were just like, we're done being a team for now. And the Ravens picked up on it. Yeah, I guess they would have had to. I don't know, but basically the Cleveland Browns left the league and the Ravens entered the league. So, the joke could be made there as well. Aren't they the same thing? But anyway, go on. Who
Oh.
do you got?
Neat. So, as mischievous as brownies are, ravens are just too damn smart for that, and the macabre attitude just kind of makes it so that their trickery will not, they just won't stand for it. So I think the attitude and the intelligence of a raven is going to get them the game over the Browns.
I'm confused. Ravens then?
Ravens, yes.
Okay. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Kansas City Chiefs. I will be going with the Chiefs. No brainer. Who do you got?
So the Eagles beat the Redskins last time, right?
Yeah.
See, they already have a taste for Native American blood. There's no way the Chiefs are going to be able to win this one. Yeah, no, I got to go with the Eagles. I think they already went through. They already went through one set of Redskins. They're going to go through another one.
Weird. Then we have the Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to take the Jaguars on this one because Jaguar. Who do you got?
Jaguar. Jaguars against Titans. Now, while annoying, I think that they may use the Titans' legs, well, I guess pinky toes at this point if you're going to go by actual size, as scratching posts. But I don't think it's going to be too enough to ruffle the Titans' feathers, so to speak. So I think the Titans are going to win that one.
See, I think the opposite. I think that the Jaguar is going to add at the Titans.
Ah!
Yeah, that's right.
You're not allowed to make that reference.
I'm allowed to make that reference.
Totally not.
Next up, we have the New York Jets at the Oakland Raiders. I almost forget where some of these teams are from now. Yeah, Jets at the Raiders. Who do you got? I'm taking the Raiders. Who do you got?
Now, if the Jets are going against the Raiders are definitely more of an offensive team, and if Jets strike first, we all know what happened at Pearl Harbor. So I'm actually going to say that the Jets are going to win this one.
Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins at the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know how the Dolphins are playing, so I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
Well, we already know that Chargers can't stop horses.
Right.
Right. And, Dolphins may actually be getting a ride, through the storm, so to speak. So instead of a Sharknado, it might actually be a Dolphinado. It seems like a weird concept and extremely scary and very rapey. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins on this one as well.
Okay. Next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Denver Broncos. I am taking the Broncos. Who do you got?
Nah, see, this is where I disagree with you because Cowboys have made a history of breaking Broncos, and I think that this game is going to be no different. I'm going to say the Cowboys.
You see, this is the thing that drives me crazy because you pick these random-ass teams, no base on how to pick them, and then you win, and they're the teams that I'm like, I needed them to lose. What do you mean they won? So not only did they upset me because of my own personal reasons with the standings and all that, but it upsets me because you're beating me again every week. Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. I am taking the Seahawks. Who do you got?
Actually, I think between the Seahawks' territorialness and 49ers are really good in enclosed spaces. I really think that if you give them room to breathe, they're not going to know what to do with it. And Seahawks are pretty relentless. I'm going to give it to the Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next up, we have the Washington Redskins at the Los Angeles Rams. I will take the Rams. What do you got?
Redskins at the Rams. No, I actually think that, okay, so I don't know if you've ever hugged a ram before, but they are really, really soft, and we are getting into the winter season, and Redskins are going to need something to wear. So I think that it's woe to be a ram this time of year, because they are going to be skinned, and their horns are going to turn into drinking things. So, yeah. They're going to be canteens and winter coats. I give that to the Redskins.
Redskins, got it. Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers at the Atlanta Falcons. Whew, this is a tough one. I'm going to take the Falcons.
So it's the Green Bay Packers at the Atlanta Falcons.
Correct.
Did Green Bay play last week?
Yeah.
Who did they play?
Oh, who did they play? They played the Seahawks and won.
Seahawks have won. Wow, they are tenacious little butt grabbers, aren't they? I'm going to say Falcons. No. No, again, it's the same principle as the Eagles. Like, once the Packers, pack away the birds, they're gonna pack away the birds again. It doesn't matter how big the bird or how fierce its defense is. So I'm going to say the Packers on this one.
Packers. And last but certainly not least, we have the Detroit Lions at the New York Giants. I am taking the Giants, no matter what. Who do you got?
Lions versus Giants. Now, see, there's a difference between Jaguars and Titans versus Lions and Giants. There's a much bigger size difference, and Lions are definitely way more tenacious than Jaguars are. Although it is primarily male Lions. If the cheerleaders got involved, it would be another story, but I suppose with it just being the players on the team, I'm going to have to actually go with the Giants as well.
I don't know if this is going to change anything, but the Giants are one of like 4 teams that don't actually have cheerleaders.
Really?
And it's at the Giants' home stadium, so there won't be cheerleaders involved at all.
Yeah, then no, it's the Giants are going to win that then by far. Male Lions, when they're outmatched, are not that tenacious. It's the female ones that are. If there's not going to be any cheerleaders, then no, the Giants are going to have the advantage.
Yeah, the Giants, the Steelers, the Packers, I think, and I couldn't tell you the 14, do not have cheerleaders.
Probably the Browns.
You might be right. So that'll do it. That's the picks for week 2 of the football season for 2017. So exciting. So exciting.
So very exciting.
Week 2 picks in the books. I wish you the best of luck, Andy. Also wish you the best of luck on your fantasy team. Especially because you're going against... Andy is going against Jesse this week from Countdown to Geekdown, so that should be interesting.
Oh, he's probably going to cream me.
Hey! He might get Andied. But, I mean, other than anything you might have, that'll do it for this episode. We just got to name it and be on our merry way.
Our merry way. Let's see. What if it's... I still like Pugcedo. But that's just me. Pumpkin eggs.
How about Spam and pumpkin eggs?
Spam and pumpkin eggs. No, I can get behind Spam and pumpkin eggs.
Because the pig was named Spam and then the pumpkin eggs. Yeah. That'll do it for this week's edition of the Side Splitters, episode 51, titled Spam and Pumpkin Eggs. My name is Lyle.
Oh, wait.
Oh, God damn it, Andy. we were done. We were done. It was over.
We were done. We were
What do you
done.
mean,
Because I was fed.
Is that all you wanted?
Yeah, pretty much.
See you next week, folks.
Bye.